Hello, this is a video broadcast for Tess and Rachel. And so we'll just go over, look at your slides. I just downloaded these, so I'm not sure who they belong to. Okay, let's see. From Rachel, one from Tess. Let's see. Already down, okay. Where is yours, Tess? Is yours called Hidden Danger? Oh, okay. I didn't think Mercedes-Benz was called Hidden Danger, but it is. Hidden Danger ad campaign. Okay. First of all, one thing that is jumping out to me is I think this is spelled wrong. So check and make sure EDES, but just check that. For your submission, you're going to make sure what you turn in doesn't have these margins and the color key at the top. So make sure those are turned off so it's a full bleed. Okay. Let's take a look at your campaign. Oh, okay, interesting. This is a really kind of intricate ad. Okay, so child, be on schedule. The text hidden in your blind spot. Okay, I have a thought, and I'm not sure. This ad looks like it's kind of old. Let's do a search really quick. And see if we can figure it out, because one of the ads that a student had done earlier was an ad from 2001, and it looked really dated. I wonder if we could see what year this ad is from. If it's from a long time ago, maybe you can find one still an ad. Oh, July 2010. Okay, so a little bit dated, but not. Oh, maybe it's just that your image is looking pixelated, because this image looks a lot more clear. That's why it's looking dated. Okay, so it's kind of old, but it's not old enough that I think you need to change it. Maybe it's just this image looks a little bit grainy. Okay. The image is still okay for this assignment. It's just weird. It looks a little bit older than it actually is, which who knows, we could say that's Mercedes-Benz clientele or something. Especially with this older car here, I think it looks like it was maybe a little bit of a throwback ad or something. Let's go ahead and say that we're going to definitely work with this ad, and this is fine, and this is the one that you're building off of, okay? So I like your interesting kind of layout. I like your big symbol here. This looks good. The gray with this kind of light coral color, pinkish color, looks awesome. Your analysis, that looks good. I would probably pull this image all the way off the bottom of the page so you don't have this little awkward gray gap here. Big or have it not be there at all. I wouldn't recommend having it be there small because it looks like it wasn't a choice when it's like that. This is consistent. This looks good. You might consider making it go all the way across the page at 2/3 on the 2/3 line, instead of this looks like it's maybe stopped with only a fifth left. So if you follow the rule of thirds and have it stop here, it might look a little bit more pleasing visually. And then it might look like it's stopping up where the edge of the symbol stops. Third line. I think that would look a little bit better than where it stops right now. You have a little bit more analysis. And to see a little bit more, I don't see any contrasting typeface. It looks like it's all a serif font, which is a pretty generic one for the Mercedes-Benz campaign. It's what they're using. So break it up and put something that's going to contrast with it. I might recommend some kind of handwritten, not anything crazy fancy, because this is already a little bit fancy with the serif. So I would go slightly more casual, but still upscale, the script looking font, or you could find a nice modern serif or sans serif to contrast it with, because you do need to have contrasting font in here. Down this image a little bit more. This is all looking really good. Contrasting typeface go here, and it would make it a little bit more bold and interesting looking. Okay, let's see. Where's your ad? New ad. Can't you drive any faster? Car. Yep, that looks very similar to the other one. You have a quote heading in the wrong direction here. These smart quotes should curve into the word. So delete this and then put it in again, and it should fix it. But it should be facing, see how this quote is facing your letter R? The one over here should be facing your letter C. If you can't get it to do it right, go into Microsoft Word and type out a word and then go to the first letter and type in your quote, and then you could copy that quotation mark and insert it in here. I like your image, looks good. It's very consistent with their branding. The only thing is it is a little bit hard to read with this white space right here, and the line kind of interferes a little bit. So you might consider pulling it up. Maybe pulling it up into this kind of darker space would make it pop a little bit more. And I know that theirs is centered right in the middle of the page, but I think it's okay to change it up so it matches the composition of your image. Your other option could be to either out so it's a little bit more zoomed in, and then you could fit your words in between these two stoplights. And if you did that, your message would kind of live in this space, and maybe you're in a little bit more. I do kind of like it right here because these lights are kind of on the rule of thirds, and so it's good composition of the image, but it might work better for your message to not have that conflict of the street posts and the lights right there. But it's very consistent branding, so that's good. Darkened image to help the text stand out. Cool. And then you're giving me a little bit more details about your ad. Cool. Yeah, it's looking great. Just make a few of those changes and you should be good. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at yours then, Rachel. This one is yours. Okay, did I wrote you out a lot of critiques on your draft because I didn't realize you were going to be submitting this. So first of all, I think this jewelry is spelled wrong. Another thing is, you can remember from COM 125 last semester, on your slides, you do not want to have this much writing. And you never want the eye to have to go all the way from the left to the right side of the page on so my suggestion was, I think your strongest visual slide is your last one. I would take this slide, spelled right, and I would move it up so it's your first slide. And then I would instead use all of these words that you're talking about, put these on your blog, and narrow it down to your most important or 2 sentences about what you're trying to describe. I don't love the transparent shape over the dark one unless you do like a black solid background. I think that would look better. This looks like this was just one of those default backgrounds on and so I think it would look better if you did something different. It doesn't look bad here. It's just with that transparent shape, actually. So maybe if you get rid of all these words, you could make them something like a nice sans serif and just have a few of them, and then your transparent shape could be smaller if you really want to keep it. But I would build your slides around this look. Very contemporary, This actually has a contrasting typefaces already in it. And this is very strong where it looks dated, okay? So try to move more toward that modern look that you have on your last slide. That's really going to help pare down your words so there's a lot less. How you did your layout here I really like with your big image on the left-hand side. Make sure your words don't go so close to the edge of the page. You need to have generally at least letter width away from the edge of the page, and I would make them go not quite so close to this edge of the shape here as well, okay? You have those in italics. This looks nice. I like the black with the white, and just move it away from the page a little bit more. And then I would pare this down as well so it's important things. So maybe about the symbolism, you don't have to have big long bullets. You could just say feathers have symbolism, and maybe instead of having all of this, say feathers can be representative of spirit and ascension, period. Because you don't want to have people read a bunch while you're looking at a slide presentation. I really like your bullet point dots here with them pulling out. This is a really good draw over. Pull this again, see how your D is actually going off the edge of the page. Really nice with that black background, but I'll leave it up to you if you want to leave the blue. Just play around with the transparency a bit. Just the same thing with making sure that those don't go off the page. And then this is your new ad. You have very consistent branding. I would make this a lot smaller. Face is probably could almost be shrunk by half maybe, because you want this to be the thing that does not stand out, and someone, if they read this, they're going to be genuinely interested. So you would make this a lot smaller. Maybe you can justify it and ends even. You could have it kind of be in line with the edge of the D and the edge of the S, and a nice block of information here in face. If it gets hard to read, a little bit bigger, but I would try to make it small and understated. Like, see how nice and small that is, and it doesn't detract from your message at all. Right now, this is almost one of the things that sticks out the most, which is not what you want to have happen. Your actual branding looks really consistent with their other message. I do think this would also stick out more if you had maybe just a plain white background here. So play around a little bit with that. I feel like this blue is competing with this blue. The background of it being kind of on the sand, and I'm guessing maybe you cut this out and put it on top of that, which looks really good. So you're doing good with the ad, just a few tweaks mostly to this part right here. This is nice and crisp. It looks like it is, but when I have the final one, I might zoom in. Well, let's see. Maybe it's just on the slide, it's looking pixelated. So make sure your original ad that you're actually going to submit to me isn't pixelated on the ring. It's probably not, but just make sure. Okay, and then pare this down a little bit. And you can take away the I, just say Carlson font, and then you don't have to specify the logo. Logo with inverted colors. So that's one of the things that's really important to figure out how to say the exact same amount of thing with the most concise, words that go straight to the heart of it. Okay, so you are doing good. Especially love this last slide, like I mentioned. But I look forward to seeing your final project, Rachel. Still tuned in. You too, Tess. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye.